Yes. Now let us revise lesson number 9, the challenged conqueror Pandit Dr. Putraj Gawai. As you can see in this picture, who is he? He is Pandit Dr. Putraj Gawai. What do you mean by the word Gawai? Gawai means great singer. Gawai means great singer. Yes, here you can see that Pandit Dr. Putraj Gawai, how he is dressed in this photograph. He has attired, attired means dressed. He is dressed with a plain dhoti. He is wearing rosary of Rudrakshi, and then he has put a sacred hash vibhuti on his forehead and a sandal tilak in the middle of it. Yes, he is wearing a turban around his head. Yes. Putraj Gawai is wearing a braille wristwatch, and also he is a blind person. He was born on 3rd March in the year 1914. Yes. Where was he born? He was born in his mother's native place, Devagiri, near Karjagi in Haveri district. He was called as Puttaya. What was its short name? Puttaya. Puttaya means small. Puttaya means small. Though his name means that small, he was not a small person. He was a legendary musician. Legendary means well known. He was a well known musician. Dr. Putraj Gawai was a legendary musician. He was born on 3rd March in the year 1914 at Devagiri in Haveri district near Karjagi. His parents were Revanayya and Siddhamma. Who were his parents? His parents were Revanayya and Siddhamma. His parents were Revanayya and Siddhamma. They felt very happy as they got a boy child. But this happiness did not last for long days. So when the child was 6 months old, his eyes became infected. When the child was 6 months old, his eyes became infected. He had a bright eyes, but the eyes got infected. So his mother took the child to the native doctor. When she treated with the medicines of the native doctors, these medicines, it aggravated the infection, and at last the child lost its sight. Now this Puttaya became blind. This was a great blow to the family. But later on, another misfortune took place. That is, Puttaya lost his father when he was 2 years old. Now, he was brought up by his uncle called Chandrasekharaya. His uncle, his maternal uncle, Chandrasekharaya, took care of him. His uncle name is Chandrasekharaya. His maternal uncle, Chandrasekharaya, took care of Putraj Gawai. Once his uncle, he went to the fields. When he was returning back from the field, he heard somebody was playing the harmonium of his uncle. Who was playing this harmonium? He got angry and then he rushed to the house to see who is that. When he came and saw, it was Putraj Gawai. He was playing the harmonium so melodiously. So he got excited and he went and embraced his nephew. His maternal uncle thought to teach how to play different instruments to the child. So what did he do? He took Putraj Gawai to a Pandit called Panchakshari Gawai. Who was his guru? Pandit Panchakshari Gawai. Yes. Now Pandit Panchakshari Gawai, he taught him to play many instruments, and also this Pandit Panchakshari Gawai, he was the pontiff of Vireshwara Punyashram. So now after Puttaya, he mastered both Hindustani and Carnatic musics. So he got the title Ubayagana Visharar. Later on, he learned to play tabla, mridangam, dilruba, shanai and also sarangi. Now he became an outstanding musician. Later on, his guru initiated him to study literature. So now studied he studied many literature works like Shabara Shankara Vilas, Rajashekara Vilasa, Jaimini Bharata, and then Puttaya also learned Braille script. Now after learning this, he mastered Kannada, Hindi and Sanskrit. After mastering this, he authored 80 outstanding works which include Puranas, biographies, drama, commentaries and also the texts on musics. Now some of the notable plays written by him are Shri Kumareshwara Kavya, Akka Mahadevi Purana, Sati Sukanya, Puratanara Puraba, Shankara Basveshwara Purana, Sudha and Sangeeta Shastra Jnana are some of his works on music. His translation work Siddhanta Shikhamani from Sanskrit and Basava Purana from Kannada to Hindi are commendable. So his Basava Purana in Hindi was appreciated by the then President of India, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. He honored him by inviting him to his residence. And his essay is there saying that pen is mightier than sword. Pen is mightier than sword. This saying is true in case of Dr. Puttraj Gawai. In spite of his disability, he has achieved wonders and he is the editor of Panchakshari Vani, a monthly magazine. So, it is a great contribution to the field of Kannada and Veereshwara literature. Now, Pandit Puttraj Gawai is set up Shri Guru Kumareshwara Poshita Natya Company. From the money he earned here, he gave free food, shelter and education to the disabled and orphans. Then he also started a theatre company. In this there was given a number of performance. Among that Shivayogi Siddharama, a play written and directed by him, earned him both fame and money. Hemareddy Mallamma and Nellura Nimbaka are till date his most successful plays. So this earned him more money, and through this money he purchased acres of land and called it as Mallammana Hola, and this became a permanent source of income to the Veereshwara Punyashram. So Gawai, he became the successor of Punyashram after his master. So Gawai became the successor of the ashram Veereshwara Punyashram after his guru Panchakshari Gawai died on June 11, 1994. At the age of 97, on 17 September 2010, Pandit Puttraj Gawai, he passed away. So the 10 lakhs of devotees attended his funeral ceremony at that time. Here, Pandit Puttraj Gawai, he has earned many awards. What are the awards he has earned? And President Award for Basava Purana in Hindi, Honorary Doctorate by Kannada University, Nadoja Prashasti, Kanaka Purandara Prashasti, Kendra Sangeeta Nataka Academy Award, Rajya Sangeeta Vidwan by Government of Karnataka, National Award for the Betterment of Disabilities by Government of India, Nadoja Award from Karnataka University, Basavashri Award, Kalidasa Samman by Government of Madhya Pradesh and Padma Bhushan. Now, the story of the life of Dr. Puttraj Gawai is a lesson to all who are physically challenged. I hope you understood the summary of this lesson. Let us revise poem number 9, The Outsider. The poet of the poem, The Outsider, is anonymous. Poem number 9, The Outsider. As in this poem, you can see the picture given in your text, children. Who are these two persons? So one is Helen Keller and another one is Sudha Chandran. Helen Keller, though she was blind, she did many works in literature, and Sudha Chandran, though she is physically handicapped, though she had lost her leg during an accident, she is a good dancer and a cine artist. Yes, in this poem, the poet that is the speaker, he speaks about a person who is physically challenged. He says, I am handicapped and wheelchair bound, expected to sit and not make a sound, just to smile and let the world go by with saintly patience and never sigh. Here the speaker, says that he is handicapped and wheelchair bound, that means he cannot walk, but therefore everyone expects him to be quiet and should not make a sound. And the world, it wants him to give just a smile and pass his days with a saintly patience like saints. He says that inside him also the thoughts comes and goes, and new ideas is born, and words flow from his lips, and he wants to link these with the others, but these words sound strange. Therefore no one bothers to talk to him, as they cannot understand him. He says that his tongue and lips, it do not do as he asks them to do, and he cannot perform a simplest task also. But then too he says that he has a mind in him, and he don't want to lock himself in the ignorance. And he says that he wants everyone to talk to him, to touch him and include him and hold his hand, and everyone should think that he is alive and should share his feelings, and also should understand his feelings here. And he requests everyone to live him the life which he wants to live. I hope you understood the poem, children. Now let us move to the next lesson, moving pictures. Yes, lesson number 10, moving pictures. In the year 1872, a Californian tycoon means businessman, a Californian tycoon and a racehorse breeder called Stanford, they both had an argument. There. Here, what was the argument between them? Whether a galloping horse ever has all the four hooves off the ground. That means whether a galloping horse at one instant takes off all the four hooves and jumps or not. While running, will it do or not? This was a conversation going between them. This was an argument between them. So experts and athletes, they agreed that hooves of horses always kept a touch with the ground. It had some contact with the ground. But Stanford, he wants to know it better. So what did he do? He hired an English photographer, Edward Maybridge. He hired an English photographer, Edward Maybridge. Who was Edward Maybridge? He was an English photographer. He hired this English photographer, Edward Maybridge. That means he paid some money to him and he hired him. So, and he requested him to capture the truth on a photographic plate. For this, he had to wait for 5 years. Maybridge, he was an eccentric. Eccentric means abnormal. Due to some serious head injury, which he had met with a stagecoach accident, he was eccentric. So he was emigrated to America in the year 1850s, And in 1875, after many trials, he stayed in America for a short while, and then he was declared that he is not an accused. Therefore, in the year 1877, he returned, and now Maybridge he set up a battery of 16 cameras parallel to the racetrack. So, if it is a racetrack, he set the 16 cameras parallel to the racetrack. So, here when the galloping horse it ran, it whenever it touches the ground, a picture would have been taken there. Like this, when the galloping horse it went, a series of photographs were captured. Now Maybridge, what did he do? He took all these images on a rotating disc and sent a ray of light through them. The flickering images proved that Stanford was right. These moving images, it proved that Stanford was right. That means the horse at some point it doesn't have any touch with the ground. Now, Maybridge carried out many studies with Etienne Jules Marey, a French scientist. In 1882, he invented a single camera capable of taking many exposures in quick succession. Thomas Edison in 1887 asked one of his assistants, William Dickson, to devise a suitable camera as a means of projecting the resulting images. This resulted in inventing of kintograph. Now Thomas Edison and his assistant William Dickson, they found out this kintograph. They invented kintograph. This resulted in invention of kintograph, a camera which could capture images in 40 frames in a second, allowing individuals to watch the resulting film. The first kintoscope booth was operated in 1894. Antoine Lumiere, a French photographic materials manufacturer, was the first to visit this booth. He got impressed by this and he instructed his sons to develop a lightweight camera and projection systems capable of making a movie. In March 1895, they gave the first demonstration of the cinematograph system, a 1-minute film of workers emerging from Lumiere's factories into Lyon. So this was the beginning of the motion picture. That means the movies which you watch now. I hope you understood the summary of this lesson. So you have some exercise in your textbook, children. You have to work all those exercises and learn for your exam. Number 10, Roadways. The poet of the poem Roadways is John Masefield. Here the poem Roadways is written by John Masefield. He describes about the explorer who likes traveling. The poet's road leads him towards seawards to the white dipping sails. Another road leads him to the river. One road leads him to the seawards. Another road leads him to the river. And his road calls him and it attracts him, it lures him and it asks him to move west, east, south and north. He never endingly travels further to find more. He adds that there are many miles I should find that one beauty God has put me here to find. He wants to explore the world and enjoy the traveling over the sea. Yes, I hope you understood the summary of this poem, children. Now let us once recall the grammar points for your exam. Conjunction. What do you mean by conjunction? A conjunction is a word used to join words or sentences. For example, look here, children. Tom is running. Mary is running. So, two sentences are given. I have to join these two sentences using a conjunction. Tom and Mary are running. So, two sentences I have joined and made it as a single sentence. Here I have used the word and to join these sentences. Therefore, this and is said to be as conjunction. Now look at the next sentence, children. Now, Rama is present. Sheila is absent. Yes, how are you going to join these two sentences? Rama is present, but Sheila is absent. Now here I have used the word but. This but is said to be as conjunction. So which is the conjunction here? But. I hope you understood about conjunction. Yes, now let us move to the next topic. Active voice and passive voice. Active voice and passive voice. Look at this sentence now. She is writing a letter. She is writing a letter. Yes. Here which is the subject here? She is the subject. She is the subject. Here who is doing the action? Subject is doing the action. She is writing a letter. What is she doing? She is writing a letter. So subject is the doer here. It is doing the action. So who is receiving the action here? Letter. Letter is the object. So object is receiver. Yes. If the subject is the doer, then you call such as active voice. Such a sentence to be in active voice. Now how to change this active voice into passive voice? A letter is being written by her. Yes. Here a letter is being written by, which is the subject here? A letter is the subject. But is the subject doing any action here? No, it is receiving the action. Therefore, this is said to be in passive voice. It is said to be in passive voice. So understood now? If the subject is the doer, it is said to be in active voice. If the subject is the receiver, it is said to be in passive voice. Usually, in passive voice, use by. Yes. I hope you understood this. Let me give you another example. Let's look at this sentence now, children. The man killed the snake. Now you change this here. The man, he killed the snake. He is the doer. So in which voice it is? It is in active voice. The sentence is in active voice. Now I have to change this sentence into passive voice. How to change this? I have to bring the object. Which is the object here? Snake is the object, right? The snake was killed by the man. The snake was killed by the man. Here the snake is receiving the action. Therefore, the subject is receiving the action. If the subject is receiving the action, it is in which voice? It is in passive voice. I hope now you understood how to change active voice into passive voice, how to change passive into active. Let us move to direct and indirect speech. Direct and indirect speech. What do you mean by direct speech? Direct speech are the exact words, the actual words spoken by the speaker. So indirect speech, what do you mean by indirect speech? Indirect speech is the reported words of the speaker. Now let us learn how to change direct into indirect speech. For example, look at this sentence, children. Bali says there is no ink. There is no ink in the pen. Yes. Bali says there is no ink in the pen. Yes. Here this is the actual word spoken by the speaker. Therefore it is said to be indirect speech. I want to report this. I have to change this into indirect speech. How to change? Bali said that there is no ink in the pen. Yes, when you want to change the actual words into indirect speech, you have to change like this. Bali said that there is no ink in the pen. See here, in direct speech we use inverted commas, that is the quotation marks. The actual words will be put into the quotation marks. But in indirect speech you don't have the quotation marks. The actual words will not be. Now look at the other sentence. Another sentence. Rama said Ashok is an idle boy. Yes. Rama said Ashok is an idle boy. This is in direct speech. This is direct speech. Now I have to change this into indirect speech. How do I change? Rama said that Ashok was an idle boy. Rama said that Ashok is an idle boy. Rama said that Ashok was an idle boy. This is said to be in indirect speech. I have removed the commas and the quotation marks. Instead of said, I have put the reporting verb said that. Understood now? Yes. I hope you understood both direct and indirect speech. Now, letter writing. Already for Summary Assessment 1, you have learned a letter to your class, that is formal letter you have learned. Now you are going to do informal letter. So what you are going to do first? You have to write the date and the place here. Date in the place. After writing date in the place, come to the next line. Here you are going to write dear friend. That means the letter which you write to your friends or relatives, you call it as informal letter. So you are going to write dear friend and you write I hope you are fine. I hope you are fine. And then you are going to write the reason why you are writing this letter. For example, I hope you are fine. I wish you to attend my cousin's marriage on 3rd March 2021. I hope you are fine. I wish you to attend my cousin's marriage on 3rd March 2021. Please come along with your family. Please come along with your family. I will be waiting for your presence. I'll be waiting for your presence. Yes. This is the body of the letter. After writing the body of the letter, you write yours lovingly. Yours lovingly, and write your name. Write your name. This is how you are going to write your informal letter. I hope you learned well for your summary assessment too, children. Prepare well and do your exams well. All the best. Let us meet the next class. Thank you.